Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Fearless Generations with Terry Sayer and Kelly Fox.
Hello, and welcome to Fearless Generations, 12 Steps to Freedom. I am Kelly Fox, and we are here tonight doing Step 3, which is connection. And tonight we're going to be focusing on giving and receiving. And I'm super excited to get into this topic. We kind of hinted at it a couple weeks ago, but we're going to dive in deep today, and let's do it. Please welcome my beautiful co-host, Terry Sayer. How are you doing tonight, Terry?
I am doing well, thank you. Just really enjoying getting ready for the family to be here and connect with them and just have an amazing time.
Good. Yes. This is the time to connect with others, but it is also a great time to connect with ourselves as we get ready to go into the new year and really getting clear on who we want to be and how we want to show up. And part of that's going to be with giving and receiving. How do we want to give and how do we want to receive in the new year and at this holiday season? So let's bring on our guest coach. She's already been on the show this month, and we are having her back already because we like her that much, and she likes us too. So let's welcome Dina Tibbs.
Hi, and I'm so glad that you invited me here twice. I'm super excited to talk about this.
Yeah. Well, why don't you remind our listeners, what is it that you get to do and who is it you get to serve?
And it is. I get to do it every day, and it's just so joyous. But I'm primarily a women's spirit coach, teacher, and mentor, working across pretty much all of the spiritual traditions. I've studied a vast majority of them, ancient and newer. And I get to do that every day with one-on-one individuals and groups. I host a lot of women's circles. I put those on hold for a little while, but I'll be resuming them next year for sure. So I'm kind of known as a weaver and connector, and just love connecting with really all beings, not just humans, but the animal and plant kingdom as well.
Yeah. We can connect to a lot of things, can't we?
For sure.
We are all connected, whether we realize it or not. I mean, science has pretty well proven that now.
Yeah, we are. So we probably already asked you this about your definition of connection and how you use that for yourself and your clients. But let's tie that into giving and receiving, since that's the topic tonight. So how does giving and receiving play into connection for you?
I think it plays into every moment of my life, or at least I try for it to be being in reciprocity, being in relationship with, like I said, like everything, everyone that I interact with. So giving can be a smile, receiving can be a hug, and giving can be leaving an offering when you do pick a flower from your garden and returning something from where you've taken. So it's a cycle. The Quero people of Peru call it Aini, and that's one of their biggest pulls, is that we're living in reciprocity with each other, with the earth, with the universe, with everything that we touch. And when we do that, we just lead more harmonious lives. Right? There's a way to say it.
Yeah, I think reciprocity is a new word for me. I've never, probably the last couple of years, I had never heard that word before. Or if I had, I didn't recognize it when I heard it again. And I'm very familiar, though, with the concept and there being this even exchange of energy. I think one thing that we can get stuck in, though, is when there's expectations that there's going to be an even exchange of energy. And that's where we can get a little stuck and move into a more fear-based mode than freedom. So if you have a client stuck in that mode of, well, I give and receive, but this person doesn't, how do you help them get out of that?
Well, yeah, I think you said that expectation word, and we put it on ourselves too, right, all the time. And what is equal? And I think that's really where I help people reframe what does equal energy mean, and does it have to be equal? You know, so energy is always in motion, and it's like, well, you know, first of all, in many of my spiritual teachings, let me back up, true giving and true generosity comes with no expectations of anything in return. So we can start with that. And then, of course, you mentioned it a little bit last time. I think, and in particular, we've been trained to overgive and then get resentful. And we've been trained to not receive. So, you know, and I've done this dance even lately with some relationships, some friendships, you know, because of what I do for a living. Often I have friends, but they're not really friends. They're coming to me for free coaching, essentially. They just come to me when their lives are falling apart, which is okay. I can hold space for that, but I would like also for them to come to me when they want to go hang out and have fun and joy and so on. And so we do have to take radical responsibility for our relationships and being in reciprocity, but it's that, you know, why am I giving? Is it to just give? Generous.
Yeah,
kind of
absolutely.
dismantling that whole idea of it being an even exchange. And in the universal energy, it's more that I'm giving to a situation, a person, an animal, a whatever, and the universe will provide me with reciprocity, not an even exchange with the person, if we're talking about people.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
and I think that... That's
okay.
No, finish your point.
I'm not sure I remember what it was. That's okay.
Oh, okay, sorry. But, yeah, I think that is really important. We can get lost in the aspect of, especially at the holidays, of giving and, you know, what is the motivation behind the giving? Is it a have to? Is it should to? Is it wanting to up last year? You know, is it wanting to give a better gift? You know, what is the motivation? Or is it, I really care about this person and I want my gift to show this person that I really know them. And that's what I try to do with my gift. And it's not a matter of, am I going to get a gift back? It's a matter of, this is something that I want to do for them. And I think that is really where we kind of need to check ourselves. What is the motivation behind why we're giving? And I think also as a former people pleaser, and sometimes still, I'm very good at giving and not always great at receiving, especially when it comes to sharing my problems, because I, tend to be the person that people come to share their problems. And so I know what's going on with everyone else, and I'm like, I don't want to add to their situation, but they want me to, right? Because if it's reciprocity, then I'm giving and allowing myself to receive. So they feel like, oh, well, Kelly comes to me too, and I go to her and we're friends, instead of, well, I go to Kelly, but Kelly never shares with me.
Right. which, I can't remember which wisdom teacher along my road has said that, but not being willing to receive from others, especially when we're talking not necessarily tangible goods, is a selfish act, because they're wanting to give to you, and you just shut them, and then that person feel like maybe you don't trust them. So it's something to and yet it takes some vulnerability. The needs that go around, like, make sure you check on the strong ones, and I can completely relate, because I tend to do well handling everything by myself. But we, particularly in this country, the whole culture is based on individualism and going it alone, and it does not serve us. I think a big part of my work coming through for next year, as I'm going into my visionary space on the solstice this Wednesday and for a few weeks, is really like, how do we turn to at least some semblance of the village? Where the elders are honored, where they're sharing their wisdom with the young ones, and the young ones have been taught that is wisdom and to spend time with the elders. And then you've got us 50-year-olds that sit somewhere in between, and that's reciprocity also, and giving and receiving, and knowing that somebody came to you with a problem, and it's, at least in my experience, it's not like if a friend or someone comes to me to talk. Usually our are going down at different times. So it's not like they came to you and then you're offloading on them, although it can be that exchange too. But, if you've ever been on the end of that's hurt me before.
Yeah. Terry, what are your thoughts?
Well, I'm enjoying this conversation. I think that when I'm a recovering perfectionist. I have learned to be vulnerable, and that actually that's a gift that I can give to others, is my vulnerability, which is my willingness to ask for help, my willingness to say I don't know, my willingness to say I'll find out. And that has totally changed my life, from being willing to receive from others, because I was that person that would never ask for help, would never reach out to someone else, because I saw that as a flaw in my in my being. So I think when I think of receiving, because I'm in that category of being an elder, and I'm frequently in that position where I can people come to me for because of my experience, and I'm really willing to share my experiences, and for other people to see that there is something on the other side of a tragedy. There is something on the other side of your children growing up, and just because I'm in the third act of my life, and I think for me, what I receive more than anything, because we're not just talking about tangible gifts, I receive pure joy and pure peace. And to me, that's the greatest gift I can have, is having that sense of joy and peace as I've connected with other people. And when I sit back and watch my family, watch my children and my great-grandchildren, I have this sense of calmness, this sense of satisfaction, of life well lived, and having this opportunity to be with the people that I love, to be in the home that I love, to be in my garden that I love. You talk about connecting to more than just the people, just to be on the planet, a human person experiencing the joy that comes from connection. And so I probably couldn't have even articulated that 20 years ago, or 30 years ago. But now at this stage of my life, I can actually sit back, observe, take in, receive that energy of joy, that energy of peace, that energy of knowledge that this path is one of for me, it's a spiritual path back to God. And, just to recognize that in my life, that everything that's happened to me up to this point brought me to this point. And so to have gratitude for all the experiences that I've had in life, the good times, the hard times, the tragedies, the successes, the whatever, just to be able to look back and honor that, live in this present moment to the fullest degree that I can, to experience that joy going into the future, which is unknown. But being able to take that with me into tomorrow gives me that sense of being on a journey that has brought me to this point of having this inner peace, this inner joy. And so when I think of connecting and receiving, that's what I think of. And I give myself my experiences, the things I've learned, I guess you can call it my wisdom, freely. And fortunately enough, there are enough people in my circle of influence that have that concept that the Native Americans had of elders, and I think you're saying other countries as well, other cultures look at a person that's had these experiences, lived life, they look at them as a gift, and I have people in my circle of influence that come to me like that, and that giving that is also joyful.
Yeah.
Yes, that's my
dream
to see that everywhere. That those circles of influences of elders. Oh, it's a dream. It really is. I live in utopia in my mind.
I mean, I still can see. I mean, some circles that I'm in, some different organizations. It's not there. It's not. Oh, the older people, let's take them cookies at Christmas or something. We feel sorry for them, but luckily I have enough people in my circle of influence, the people that I associate with it that have that attitude. That I had a gal this morning that called me that I taught her in kindergarten over 50 years ago, and we have we live in a small town. I know her family. I've seen her, her parents, her husband, her children. She's not like a close friend, but I know everything that's happening. She called me this morning because she wanted my opinion and my wisdom about something that had to do with education. And so that happens to me frequently as well. And I just think, that's a life well lived, right? And I just love that. And it makes me feel, like I said, that inner calmness, that inner peace. And I feel so blessed that I have that in my life.
Yeah, I think it's important that we have people like that in our support circles. We call them Fear Buster teams. And I think that it's always important for us to have people in our lives that we connect with, that we have that giving and receiving relationship. We have an agreement possibly with them that this is how we are going to come to them, and this is how we want to, this is what we want from them. That we have those that can help us to navigate, whatever situation arises. And, Terry is definitely someone that I go to in specific situations. Can't go to your mom for everything. But,
no.
I go to her, to support me with things. And I have friends and I have other family members and, leaders that I grew, that people who were leaders as I was growing up. And it's important to know who those people are, and connect with them. Be willing to be vulnerable and open and exposed and ask someone for help or ask someone for their opinion or share, hey, this happened and not really what I was wanting to happen. What can I do differently? That's not easy to do. And so to have people already engaged to take on a role like that in your life is important. So when those things come up, you already have someone you can go to.
Right,
mm-hmm.
right. the Celts call it the Anamkara, your soul friend or friends. And John O'Donohue, his book of that same title is just such a beautiful book, and really on this subject of reciprocity, because it's how do you be Anamkara to everything and with everything. But it's so important, and everything that our young ones are facing today, and what we see, happening in the news and so on. If everyone can have just one Anamkara, it makes such a difference, or a spiritual community of some kind. The Buddhists call it. Buddha said one of the three parts of his spiritual teaching, one of the biggest ones, was having Sangha. There's the teachings, the teacher, and then there's the Sangha, or the community. And it's just really big piece of most spiritual traditions around the world.
And that's so fast. Because, it's really, we are all connected. We have different paths. We have different cultures, different, family influences that have gotten us to where we are. And yet we're so similar. That's what I love about studying different faiths and different cultures, is that there is that core of similarity, isn't there? That, that core community, that core of unconditional love, that core of, having a wise, a sage or a wise person, an elder who guides you based upon, on those core values of connection and love and kindness. And, it's just, to me, it's really interesting. We're so much more alike than we are different.
Oh, so much. And even, when the political battles ensue, and I say to people, because I have family and people in my circles who I, maybe don't share the same views with politically.
Really?
Really? And I always come back and I say, I was in a conversation at a Christmas party the other night, and I say, but really at the very core, every one of us wants the same thing for ourselves and our family. And again, I'm not Buddhist, but I keep coming back to the Buddhist prayer, the metta prayer. May all beings be happy, may all beings be safe, may all beings be healthy, and I always add on joyful and abundant. And I think that's what everyone wants. How you get there, how in our minds, and also the fact that, no politician is ever going to do that for us. We have to release our need for them.
Built on contention, right?
Yeah,
the whole system
exactly.
built on contention.
Right,
yeah,
exactly.
But
it's built
my
on the
kids that are
opposite of
my kids that are of a different persuasion than I am, if they start in, I'll say, you know what? We have no control over that. What we do have control over is how we treat each other and how we talk about each other. So let's just put kindness and compassion at the front of our conversations, and that's what we have control over.
Exactly.
The
Right.
contention is just that. Yeah.
I can't do it anymore. Because it's all an illusion, all that stuff. So the connection is what's real. The energetic connection, the fact that we're all connected. It's my biggest prayer, though, is that everybody wakes up to that fact. Not everyone's an awareness of that,
And
don't, so kind of even going back to where we started was, I could give to my community, to an individual, whatever, and I know that the reciprocity is going to come through the white life well lived, like exactly what you said. And so for me, the question in my mind always is what I'm about to do, first of all, is it empowering to myself and others? That's question number one. And then question number two, is this life affirming? Is this a life affirming choice? And that's those are kind of my litmus tests, or even before maybe I'm want to engage in an argument. is that empowering? Is that life affirming? No, it's not. Okay,
nope. So don't bother. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, All right, ladies. Well, we have had a awesome conversation, and we are less than 5 minutes to the end. So I want to give Dina some time to share with the audience how they can get a hold of her, if you have anything going on or what you would like to share with the audience.
Yeah, well, first of all, the easiest way to reach me is through my website. So you can even just use my name, www.Dina, Tibbs.com, and I have places on there where you can schedule a discovery appointment with me. I always do pretty much a full hour with folks, even on discovery, so essentially a complimentary soul coaching session. And like I said, this is my time of year where I'm really sitting in the visionary space, and I help others do that too when they're with those questions in their mind of, what is my soul here to do? Or if you do already know that, what does my soul want to do next on this journey? And so that's the big work. And then, I'm in the visionary space. Like I said, I want to create those communities where the elders are, we're not just bringing them the cookies. We're going to
right
to them for their wisdom. And so I don't know what that's looking like. I'm really in the Weaver Dreamer space of what are the connections going to be like going into next year. And I think this time of year is a hugely important time to yes, love all the family stuff and all of that, but also take some connection time on the darkest day of the year that we're about to have approaching on Wednesday, and really just be in the space of what your soul wants to bring forth next.
Yeah,
I love that.
I love that. Thank you. Terry, any last words you would like to share with the audience?
No, I just think I think what came through to me tonight in our conversations was that we are all connected. And if we really believe that and we go into any kind of relationship or connection that we have, just realizing that we are all connected energetically, spiritually, at the soul level, we are all connected.
Absolutely. I think that definitely came through with the conversation tonight as well. And I think that it's really important that when we're talking about connection, of course, we're always thinking about connecting with ourselves. And there's still an aspect of giving and receiving with connection with ourselves, too. And so giving that some thought as well of how do we give and receive with ourselves? Self-care can definitely be something we give ourselves, but then we also have to receive it, right? Like if we're going to give ourselves a nap, we have to then receive it without beating ourselves up, right? So, keeping in mind that those concepts when it comes to ourselves as well. So we want to thank you for being here with us again, and we would love to have you on again. If you want to join us again, hey, we're here.
Oh, God, yes, I would love to. I remember when we first talked, I looked at every subject, and I said, I think I could talk about, all of that. Which one am I going to pick? So, I'll definitely would love to be back on. I do it frequently. It's so much fun.
Yeah, well, good. Hopefully I'll see you on the calendar again soon. We want to remind you that the 12 Steps to Freedom were created by Rhonda Britton, the CEO and founder of the Fearless Living Institute. And if you would like to know more about Fearless Living, please go to fearlessliving.org. If you'd like to know more about Terry and I, you can go to fearlessgenerations.org, where you can find out all about what it is we do, all the great programs and classes we have coming up that we want to share with you in the new year. And also, you can see the results of the Break the Silence fundraiser that we just had there, and still get involved and be able to participate in that. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Dina, for being here. Thank you, Terry. Remember to connect to yourself and to define what that means for you. And until next week, everybody, be fearless.
Thank you. Bye, Dina.
Thank you. Good night.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.